It's another edition of the Jersey Cape Podcast. I'm your host, Dennis Brown. Today we'll be talking in Avalon with Scott Wall, the business administrator there. They work very closely with business community with all their great special events. We'll be talking also about some of the things going on for the end of the summer, the unique shops and restaurants. So we have a lot of great things to get into as we focus on Avalon in this episode. We want to talk about some things going on around the Jersey Cape, though, before we get started. And recently, we just celebrated National Lighthouse Day. Of course, we have a couple great lighthouses down here. The Cape May Lighthouse and Hereford Inlet Lighthouse. I know at North Wildwood with the Hereford Inlet Lighthouse, they've been doing some different things this year, including a full moon viewing. So when there's a full moon, they let people go up and take a look out over the water. It's very picturesque, very beautiful. Of course, the Cape May Lighthouse is probably one of the top 5 most photographed landmarks here at the Jersey Cape, and something that many people always love to take a view of whenever they're on vacation. So that's definitely something you'll want to check out. And I know a lot of people were posting photos on social media over the past couple of weeks with the lighthouses. Something else that's always fun while you're down here, and this is something you can do regardless of whether you take the Cape May Lewis Ferry over or not, because they have a nice little restaurant and bar area down there. But a visit to the Cape May Lewis Ferry, as we kind of talk about scenic, picturesque places to go. I always love going down to the Cape May Lewis Ferry. You can get a lot of great photos down there. And, obviously, if you're looking to go over to Delaware or come over here to the Jersey Cape, to the Cape May dock there, it's really easy and convenient, so it's definitely a great service to check out. But again, like I mentioned, bar, restaurant, you can also go down there to take photos. Lower Township has been hosting a concert series there, so they have free concerts every Wednesday night over the summer. So a lot of cool and unique activities going on over at the Cape May Lewis Ferry. And again, as we kind of talk about places that are great to take photos at, that's definitely one of them. You can pretty much throw the zoo on any list that you're trying to do, and the Cape May County Zoo certainly has many picturesque spots to take photos in there. Certainly a great opportunity to get some very majestic and beautiful photos. So many great animals. They're making some new additions, which they're going to announce soon. So you definitely want to keep up with the Cape May County Zoo as they continue to develop and grow everything they have going on there. And also, as we kind of talk about picturesque places to take photos, anywhere as you have those sunsets or sunrises, whether you're at the ocean or the bayfront, we have some of the greatest viewing spots to get those great views. Whether you're up in Ocean City getting those sunrise photos, you can also go to the North Wildwood Seawall, some of the bayfronts. Of course, Lower Township always says that they have the best sunsets all around. So many great options to check out. But the sunrise, sunsets, people love to post them up on Facebook. You see all the groups always having those photos. And it really is a great way to start your day, to get up early, check out the sun rising, and enjoy everything that we have nature-wise here at the Jersey Cape. We're going to take a quick break and come back with Scott Wall. And in just a minute, you're listening to the Jersey Cape Podcast. We're back here on the Jersey Cape Podcast. Dennis Brown. We have Scott Wall, business administrator in Avalon. And Scott, first off, thanks for a couple minutes today.
Hey, appreciate it. Appreciate everything the County Department of Tourism does for all the beach and mainland communities in our area.
Well, we have a lot to talk about because, Avalon really very unique. And that's one of the things we always like to talk about. Each of these towns has their own unique vibe. If you're looking for something vacation-wise, we have pretty much everything you could look for, from Cape May to Ocean City and everything in between, and Avalon being one of those. Avalon has a lot of very unique features, some very interesting dining spots, a nice downtown, and a lot of very cool events, especially throughout the summer. If you want to highlight, a couple of the unique features that, a place like Avalon, even if you aren't staying in Avalon and you want to come over for the day, some of the things that, you can do in a place like this.
Well, what we try to do in Avalon is make sure that families can enjoy the Jersey Shore for free. Avalon is unique. We don't have any paid parking lots, any parking meters in town. Tuesday nights through the summer, we provide big beach movies on the beach free to see for the kids, no beach tag needed. Thursday nights, free concerts in the downtown area, and many other free events, including world-class symphony concerts and other activities. So, when you come to Avalon and you've saved up for a vacation at the shore, we want you to come here and just enjoy everything that we can provide for you at no cost. And I think that's one of the things that sets Avalon apart. We don't have a boardwalk with amusement rides. We don't have a huge bar district or things like that. It's a place that you can come and recreate and relax for adults, and we give the children plenty of opportunities to have some fun.
Yeah, it always amazes me, and this doesn't just go for Avalon, but you certainly do a great job here. But when I talk to some of the recreation directors of the different towns, especially the beach ones, the amount of activities that you all have in the summer, it's amazing. I mean, I know that your staff gets a workout trying to put together everything. Could talk a little bit about that effort, because it is important that, if the parents come down, you want things for the kids to do. You want them to be entertained, have fun, because, a good family vacation is obviously the whole family having a good time.
I think a key to success, Dennis, is exactly what you said, is every year you need to reinvent the wheel, see what works and see what doesn't work, and adapt to change. The Avalon Free Public Library, the only library in the United States with 10 consecutive years of 5-star rating, has children's activities every day throughout the summer. So if you run into a cloudy weather day or a bad weather day, or just want to break from the beach, you can see music acts, performers, education, top-selling author series. All that's in the library. But something that Avalon did in 2018 that's been a huge success is we put in 10 brand new pickleball courts. And a couple of years ago, frankly, I didn't know what pickleball was. It's kind of like a reduced tennis scale with paddles and a plastic ball. It exploded inside Avalon Community Hall in the off-season. We put the 10 pickleball courts out there this year, and they are used every hour of every day. And that's the thing. Avalon attracts people who are into fitness, into recreation, organized sports, and education, and those who are naturists as well. And as you know, the naturist community is a big part of the county's tourism. We preserve open space. We preserve nesting terrapin turtles. And we do all these activities to help educate those in the future of exactly how important and how fragile the ecosystem at the Jersey Shore is. So really, when you come, it depends on what your interest, but chances are you'll find something interesting in Avalon.
Now, I know somewhat of a dirty word for everybody, fall is coming. I mean, I know that, we all love our summer, but, fall in Avalon, ton of great events. I know I've been over to your seafood festival a couple of times. That's a lot of fun. You guys were one of the first towns that really got out in front of that Black Friday to make it really, step it up to the next level. Not that everybody doesn't do events, but you've really made it a full weekend of events, and a number of other things as well that you wanted to touch on. If you could talk a little bit about, as we look ahead, sometimes you think, oh, well, it's the summer, I don't have to come back to the shore, but there's a lot of great reasons to come back to Avalon fall, wintertime.
Well, the two you mentioned, Dennis, are big. The Avalon Chamber of Commerce puts on a seafood festival on Columbus Day weekend, where we turn our biggest parking lot into town into a giant seafood festival, and that happens October 6th and 7th. That is huge. And I will tell you that the Friday and Saturday following Thanksgiving Day is busier in downtown Avalon than July 4th weekend. It is that busy because we put out, so everything is free. Free skating rink, free mechanical rides, face painting, music, photos with Santa. It's our Festive Friday and Snowfest Saturday events. And this truly is a regional destination. Avalon is on Thanksgiving weekend. We love to see our property owners back in town. They use their homes for 4 days. We have a lot of visitation from other shore communities, and they jump over to Avalon to see it. But a couple of other events that may be interesting in September is the weekend after Labor Day weekend, the Chamber of Commerce does a shop hop. We have over 30 merchants in downtown Avalon, everything within walking distance. You can save between 30 and 70% off on a lot of great merchandise. This isn't left over from the summer. Sometimes they get a jump start in advance for 2019, and they have a big downtown event, and it's really cool. And something that we're very proud of in Avalon is we're one of the few shore communities that has an artifact from the World Trade Center. We have a September 11th memorial at 21st Street and Dune Drive next to Veterans Plaza in town. We have a veterans group coming in on September 11th that wants to hold a quarterly meeting, and all the men and women all served in the military. They all were impacted by 9/11 and had to respond to it. So we're going to do a special ceremony on September 11th at 8:45 a.m. Something I really think that is neat to point out that is really chilling when you think of it. We had a design professional who has a 9-foot, 11-inch piece of steel from the World Trade Center. It has a bend in the middle that was either caused by compression or heat. And we have 4 coins on the ground. Only on September 11th of every year, at the time a plane went down, the shadow from the beam cast a shadow over the coin at the exact time. It's really something special. It's something even in the dead of winter that people stop by every day and just pause to reflect. So if you happen to be at the shore around September 11th, we invite you to come in for the ceremony.
Obviously, certainly, always good to remember. Going back one point to the shop hop, and just in general, your downtown district, and one thing I know you always love to talk about, the free parking. So certainly you're inviting people to come shop, walk around, don't feel like you have to be rushed out of town, visit everybody. But very unique downtown, very walkable. If you could talk a little bit about your shopping district, because, it really is, it's a nice little area that people can, get lost for a couple hours in some amazing stores.
Easy to do. Really, it's from 21st Street on the north side down to about 32nd Street along Dune Drive. And as you mentioned, angled free parking. We don't have any parking meters in Avalon. And you will find, it's interesting. When you go to some downtown areas, you may find only targeting one demographic. Here in Avalon, it's totally different. If you want some very high-end New York City-style boutiques, you'll find them. If you want to go into a store and buy an Avalon hoodie sweatshirt for about $20, it's no problem. You have places to go, from jewelry to beauty supplies to even furnishings for your home. You'll find it all here in downtown Avalon. As you mentioned, it's easy to walk. We have new restaurants that come in all year long, including one fabulous Italian restaurant that moved in this year. We have mini golf for the kids and all of that. So when you bring your children, they won't be bored. Moms and dads, you certainly won't be bored, because really there's something for every taste in our downtown.
One of the longest lines, especially as the night goes on, I always see the ice cream places. They always do really well for themselves, and Avalon as well. And yeah, the restaurants, a very unique taste here. I mean, I know you don't always want to single out one, because you have a lot of great ones, but you've had a lot of investment made in the town. So maybe talk about that. I mean, there's been some new restaurants and certain properties that have made investments into their place to really step the game up, and maybe give people a little overview of the types of things that they might be able to hit, if they're in Avalon.
Yeah, and of course, and I'll mention a few by name, but in recent years, the Princeton at 21st Street and Dune Drive, is really a social gathering place for Avalon, not only for the nighttime crowd, but for the dining crowd as well. They open for Avalon special events, which is great. Right at 31st Street and Dune Drive, a legendary Uncle Bill's Pancake House that is only open until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But my goodness, are you going to get a great breakfast or even a fabulous lunch in town? Hoy's 5 and 10 is a family department store where you can pick up that T-shirt, pair of flip-flops, or a hoodie, or a collectible to take home. And then you'll find some really great higher-end boutiques that when you want to really make that splash and give something special for a holiday or anniversary, Armadillo is a shop downtown that carries some of those home goods that really have a touch of the shore, that are imported, Avalon, indigenous, that you can find nowhere else. So those are some of the places that you can walk around downtown. If you want to play mini golf, Avalon has that too. Go Fish is the name of it. It's challenging. I've played it.
Well, I know you enjoy your golf, so if you tell me it's challenging, I have to certainly take that with with some real vigor. I don't know if I'm up to that challenge. But as before we wrap up here, talk a little bit, just as we kind of wrap up, if somebody's never been to Avalon before and they're still, kind of getting a feel for it, and again, there's might be people that stay in hotels here, but there might be people staying in Wildwood or Cape May or the campgrounds, and maybe they're looking for a day trip. What would you say, if you could sum it up, what's the one reason you want to at least make that trip over the bridge the first time and check us out?
I think what Avalon offers from other shore communities who all do a great job with their own identity is it's a place for relaxation, the appreciation of nature. If you're a photographer, absolutely bring your camera for some unforgettable photography, but there's still plenty to do, several things to do every day during the summer and into the fall in Avalon. So it's a place where you can come perhaps with a little less congestion. Avalon only has a few hotels. It's mostly single-family homes and duplexes around town. We're not overly built out. 1/3 of our property is preserved as open space, so you really have beautiful vistas. You come to the shore for a reason, primarily, and that's the beach. If you don't have sand on the beach, you're in trouble if you're a coastal community. So you have great fishing, kayaking, water sports, and a beach, but bring your camera and do that. So if you want a place where you can exhale and have, maybe a step down from a hustle and bustle of a crowded boardwalk or an overly crowded area, I think Avalon may be a good option for you.
And right off exit 13 on the Garden State Parkway, about as smack dab in the middle of the county as you could possibly get. So
we get asked why we're cooler by a mile, and literally Avalon is a sandbar that is 3.5 miles exposed in the North Atlantic. And if you're coming from a city area and you think, boy, it's hot and you want to cool off, why don't you pull off exit 13 and give a look around? I think you'll find it pretty refreshing.
And obviously you can park for free, which is always a good start. So you can make your explorations a lot easier, and you don't have to worry about that. We want to thank you, Scott, again, business administrator in Avalon. Where can people find you all online?
You can go to Avalon Borough, BORO.net. If you're interested in very special events and things like festivals, the Chamber of Commerce website, visit avalonnj.com, is a great resource.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. And we'll be back to wrap up this episode in just a minute. We want to thank Scott Wall for joining us on this episode of the Jersey Cape podcast. And we want to remind you that we'll be back in a couple weeks. We continue to try to have great content, which we'll have throughout the year. And if you like what you're hearing, we certainly want you to subscribe, whether you're using iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. We're in a number of different places. You can also catch us on Facebook, YouTube. So wherever you enjoy getting our content, we hope you subscribe and listen every couple of weeks when we drop new episodes. Thanks again. You've been listening to the Jersey Cape podcast. I'm Dennis Brown.